Bram, welcome to the podcast, man. I'm so happy to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
What are you seeing in the marketplace right now? How are things going? And just talk us through how you see it.
Sure. I mean, obviously, as a whole, 2020 was a little bit quiet because when the border shut in end of March, early April, we had a 6-7 month hiatus. But when they opened back up in November, especially in and around U.S. Thanksgiving time, it has been an absolute boom like I've never seen before in my 20 years here. The market it's crazy. I mean, there's the word that comes to mind actually is frenzy. That things are flying off the shelf, and we're not getting the new listings. So inventory is as low as I've ever seen it.
So what do you think's kind of going on? Is it COVID that's pushing people here to create the frenzy? Or do you think it's us realtors who are trying to trick the world into paying more for Nosara real estate? I'm only half kidding as I say that.
Sure. No, obviously it's supply and demand. I mean, Nosara has been fairly hot since 2012, 2013, as you know. But this last episode with COVID is really pushed the limits. And what we're seeing is a lot of people from places like New York and LA and Toronto that are trying to escape the lockdowns. And if the mom and dad are working online and the kids are online, it's a pretty nice place to spend that time. But more than that, I see a seismic shift going on in the world right now, where the people with means are reassessing things and looking for a lifestyle of health and wellness, and maybe letting their kids be bilingual and stop world, let me off. They want to be happy and healthy. The people aren't necessarily trying to turn their 20 million into 40 million. They want to preserve their 20 million, but they want to have a better lifestyle.
Yeah, it's interesting that you're bringing up some of those demographic adjustments, because it doesn't seem like very long ago it was quite different. It was a lot of the same style, diehard surfer, diehard yogi kind of coming in, and talk us through that a little bit.
Surfing and yoga obviously put Nosara on the map. And, traditionally we had a lot of, people coming from California, Florida, Long Island, the Carolinas, some Texans, and, there were surfers. Then, as the yogis came, they started to come from everywhere. But now it's beyond that. These are, the people that are coming to Nosara as of late are people with means, and, they're fairly knowledgeable on the area. A lot are coming as referrals of friends and family who have, people are doing it. They're telling people what they're doing, and other people want in. So while the surfing and the yoga is obviously still here, it's not necessarily what's driving the market. And a lot of the people, they're not surfers yet. They aspire to be surfers, and that's a big difference. Where before it was about a nice wave and warm water. Now it's about lifestyle, and part of the lifestyle is that they want to do more surfing or more yoga or mountain biking or whatever it is they do.
I've seen an up and a down. When I first met you, coming up on 20 years, Bram, we're getting old. Coming up on 20 years ago, Nosara, I thought it was expensive then. A lot of people who've lived here for a while, or even been visiting for a while, who are here now, are seeing it as very expensive. But it kind of ratchets up. And I've been humbled because I thought it was too expensive in 2003, and then it just keeps going. So I know there's ups and downs in the world, but I'm always scared of a crash because I got burnt so bad in Florida. I took everything I made in my 20s and 30s and invested it like by the water in Florida, thinking it was smart, and just got hammered, obliterated, and moved here penniless, essentially. Sold everything I could just to get on the plane and get the wife and kids and give it a go. But I'm saying all that to say this. People who have means, as you put it, are coming here, and many of them are used to much higher price tags. Whereas some of us who've been here a long time feel like the prices are very high. How do you, because you've been here longer than most everyone here, how do you kind of assess today's demographics and the prices? Like, how do you deal with selling a property that you sold who knows how long ago for how much less today? Like, how does that all resonate with your mind?
Yeah, I mean, It blows me away, really. Some people say, we've got Malibu prices or La Jolla prices or whatnot. And, you never know what the market's going to hold. But the remarkable thing to me is that these are cash, cash prices. So people are coming in and buying a $500 million lot and putting up a 500 or 1,000 or $1 million house. They're doing it with all cash. So, it is a different level of person. And I understand someone that lives in Manhattan, they're paying, $2 million for a very small apartment. And comparably, this seems like it would be a lot better, but we don't have the financing here, and they're still coming. So I'm curious, because the word I referred to before is frenzied, and the buyers now are coming down. They're understanding very quickly that that inventory is very low, and that if they don't move, they're going to have less options in a short amount of time. And that's what we're seeing day in and day out. I mean, we're getting offers and contracts pretty much on a daily basis. And it almost feels like we're working ourselves out of jobs here. And it's tough. People come down, they've been watching the market, they have their eye in the neighborhood, and to tell them, sorry, there's just nothing for sale, or it's, $1.5 million or up. So it's changed. Nosara, this is the new Nosara. Nosara is now on the map. Nosara is a brand name. It's in vogue in a lot of places. And, I could never afford to live in Greenwich, Connecticut, or certain parts of La Jolla in San Diego. And so there are places like that. And now we're becoming, a place that the real estate is expensive, and everything else is, starting to follow it. You notice when you go out to a restaurant, that the meals are quite a bit more than they were a few years ago. It is what it is.
Just while you're here, everyone in the L section needs to send you a thank you letter or something, because I'm pretty sure none of us would have electricity without you.
I won't send you a thank you letter. I'll send you guys a bill.
There you go. Then we also all owe you a big thank you for the school, because without the school, I don't think Nosara would be what it is. I really don't. I think a lot of higher end people are coming here because of the education available.
Well, I appreciate that. I wouldn't be the one to thank. A lot of other people had done a lot more than I did, and that was a true community effort. But it's been a great run.
On the subject of real estate, before we let you go, can you go over the listings that come to the top of your head that people should know about?
I mean, we did one of those email blasts in the beginning or middle of December with like the 11 lots that we had for sale in Guiones. I think right now one is still standing, and I got a text earlier that we're gonna be receiving an offer letter on it. So we've got a couple great houses. We've got one for $699 in Guiones. Prime Guiones is called on our website. That one is sure to go. Guiones Sanctuary is another one. Small house in Guiones. That one we're expecting offers on as well. So, my advice to people is if you're going to do it, because I don't know what March is going to look like, let alone 2022 or 2023. But we're definitely lopsided with sales versus new listings.
Gotcha. The outer areas seem to be warming up. But before we get to that, what's interesting is, think of how many years Pilata had a bad reputation and a slow reputation. And look at Pilata now.
Yeah. It's one big construction zone.
Yeah.
It is. But to your point, a lot of the outer places like Esperanza, there's some great projects in there. Bosque Verde has been really successful. The Colony, has had a resurgence and is selling lots. So the people who are living here full time are moving, into the surrounding neighborhoods and into the hills, and they're great places. I mean, I'd venture to say, as a full time resident, I would rather live in Esperanza or up in Bosque Verde than in Guiones, just because the lots are small in Guiones. It's higher traffic, and the neighbors on both sides and behind you are likely weekly rentals. So if you're open to those areas, you get a lot more bang for your buck.
It's funny how everyone asks for Guiones close to beach or Las Huacas prime view, but after you live here for a good long time, you see things a different way, just like you just put. I always joke with people that you'd have to pay me to live in Guiones.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, everybody knows all the cool people live in L section.
On that note, we've used up enough of your time, and I appreciate you coming on very much. Well, I'm going to have you back. I hope that you'll do it. I also hope the other real estate agents do too.
Excellent. Rich, I really appreciate it. And I don't go on social media.
I want to grow up and be like you one day, man. God dang it. Oh, man. You figured it out, Bram. God, you figured it out.